You're a tiger.
What?
You're a tiger. Roar!
You want me to roar?
Roar!
Roar! Servus Freunde, my name's Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz the Buddymeister, and today we're going to talk about Rajkumar Hirani's latest movie, Sanju, a biographical film about the life and times of Indian actor Sanjay Dutt, or Sanju Baba, as he's nicknamed in Bollywood.
Or the Arnold Schwarzenegger of India, at least according to IMDb. But anyway, Sanju is only the fifth movie by Rajkumar Hirani as a director, his previous ones being the Munai Bai films and Three Idiots and PK.
Sanju stars Ranbir Kapoor as Sanjay Dutt, Paresh Rawal as Sunil Dutt, Manisha Koirala as Nargis Dutt, Vicky Kaushal as Kamli, and we also have Sonam Kapoor, Anushka Sharma and Hirani in the movie.
Who's in every Hirani movie except the second Munai Bai film.
Yes, and well, I think we both went into this movie with the expectation and anticipation of getting to know this intriguing character that was and is Sanjay Dutt. And of course we kind of expected this Rajkumar Hirani magic that we got from Three Idiots and PK, which we both liked very much. But Jimmy, what happened?
I can't really pinpoint it to one single aspect, because there are many things that went wrong here, and believe me, I'm saying this with a very heavy heart because I wanted to like this movie. But as it went on, I got more and more sure that Sanju not only failed as a biographical film, but also as a film in general. Not only is it superficial in the portrayal of Sanjay Dutt, but it is also pretty obvious that Hirani and his screenwriter Abhijit Josh cherry-picked facts out of Dutt's life that they wanted and probably were allowed to show.
That's a good point. So many things happened in the life of Sanjay Dutt. I can understand that it is hard to put all of them in one movie, but this feels like a selection that is not only cherry-picked, as you said, but it's also way too cute in its approach to come across as a lesson on life or something. We, for example, learn nothing about the first two marriages of Dutt, we learn nothing about his difficult relationship with his sisters, or we learn nothing about his own family. Everything stays firmly on the surface.
It really is a missed opportunity. Of course we see Dutt using drugs, drinking alcohol, going to strip clubs, being cool and funny, going to jail and so on, but it is highly questionable that a movie that condemns the media with its headlines and sensationalism for the most part uses these headlines as its own filmic structure.
Instead of telling us an honest and interesting story about this man.
Exactly, it feels biased.
It does, and there is also the problem that pretty much all the other characters are shallow as well. You know, I get it, this is a movie about Sanjay Dutt, but it's the people and the environment around that person that help form a character. We have the girlfriend Ruby, played by the terribly underused Sonam Kapoor, we have Sanjay's buddy Kamli, we have the journalist Winnie Diaz, his wife Manyata, and even Sunil and Nargis. They're all just setting phrases, if at all.
And we almost learn nothing about the actor Sanjay Dutt and his giant career. I mean, we have this scene at the beginning where he shoots his first movie, Rocky. It's charming and quite funny, and later we see him in a trailer and makeup for another movie. But that's about it. The guy has over 180 acting credits.
It's like you said, the movie only shows the headlines of his life.
Yep, exactly.
We get some nice scenes between Sanjay and his father, and we learn a bit about their troubled relationship and the fact that Sanjay felt undermined by him. But even here, the movie uses these things more as mere plot points and not as something that deeply formed the character of Sanjay Dutt. And these scenes always look the same.
The Hirani magic, as you called it, really is missing. The staging is boring for the most part, the sets are uninspired. It's not cinematic, it looks like a TV movie, it drags, and occasionally it's outright boring.
Because you are not invested enough in the story.
Yes, and also because the balance between comedy and drama somehow is off. I don't know, I have to admit that when the movie tries to be funny, it mostly worked, and sometimes I laughed really hard, but it's also rather off-putting that Sanju's addiction is pretty much played for laughs most of the time. As far as the songs go, they are alright, I think. I actually listened to them again after we've seen the movie, and they are quite catchy, but the way they are incorporated in the movie is a big step down in comparison to his last two works, Three Idiots and PK.
I'm asking myself if this movie might be working better for people who really know Sanjay Dutt and know all about his controversies and antics.
Could be, but then I'm asking, why make a movie about him? And those people might be even more forgiving of his character and all the bad stuff that he evidently did. This movie certainly doesn't portray him as somebody who learned from his mistakes.
Yeah, it more or less portrays him as somebody who did what he did because he had a good and honest reason for it, or it happened by accident. The responsibility or remorse factor falls a bit flat.
So, really nothing is his fault?
You could say that, I guess. At least this movie doesn't really show how his behavior affected the people around him. Okay, Ruby screams at him and leaves him because he's stoned like hell, but that's it. Kamli breaks the friendship because of a misunderstanding, which is kinda his own fault. His father always loves him, everything falls into place in the happy end. The consequences are held to a minimum, and because of this very one-sided perspective, all the fuss that is made by the media about his alleged connection to those terror attacks comes across as rather nonsensical.
And without shining more light on what actually happened and on how the media circus and the accusations and also the possible connections between some Bollywood figures and those attacks took place, there's no real tension here. Once again, director Hirani has this mystery element that runs through the film and that culminates in this misunderstanding between Sanju and his best friend about a certain truck of weapons in front of his house. But he only uses it, as he pretty much does with all elements of the narrative, as a melodramatic tool, and it simply doesn't work.
Right, because for the audience it is made clear from the get-go that he doesn't have any real involvements with terrorists anyway.
Personally, I also have a big issue with this fake news angle that the movie implies, where all journalists and newspapers are evil and Sanju is this poor innocent chump. Of course, sensationalism and clickbait and so on are big problems, but because the movie is so one-note, it left a bitter taste in my mouth.
I can see that, yeah.
But to end this review on a better note, let's talk shortly about Ranbir Kapoor's performance. It was pretty remarkable, wasn't it?
It was pretty good. Not only the way he transformed his body and trained to be more muscular and then fatter, but the way he walks, the way he talks, he really becomes Sanjay Dutt.
And definitely the very best thing about this movie.
Definitely. So, in German we'd say?
Ich sage es wirklich mit schwerem Herzen, aber Sanju ist eine große Enttäuschung. Er ist zu oberflächlich, er ist inszeniert wie ein TV-Film und er nutzt Schlagzeilen und Sensationsgier, Dinge, die er eigentlich selbst verdammt als Erzählstruktur. Über den Menschen Sanjay Dutt erfährt man hier so gut wie nichts. Auch Ranbir Kapoor's außergewöhnliche Leistung kann daran nichts ändern. I give Sanju 5 out of 10. It's more like 5.1, but I don't do that.
For me, it's also 5 out of 10. It's more like 5.4, but I don't do that either.
Which brings us to a segment that is coming up more often lately. Whenever a movie scores less than 6, we give you 3 better flicks.
Our first one is a movie pretty much all of India and China and many other parts of the world have seen, because right now it's the most successful Indian film of all time, Dangal.
Our second choice is a rather new film from the US that also adds a lot of humor to its portrayal of a famous person, I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie.
And last but certainly not least, let's go completely crazy with Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street.
So that's it for today. We hope you still like us, and if so, let us know what you thought about Rajkumar Hirani's Sanju. And also, if you haven't by now, you absolutely should check out our special 45-minute long review of his previous film, 3 Idiots. Just click here.
And also tell us, what's your single favorite biographical movie from India, and what's your single favorite movie with Sanjay Dutt?
Until then, you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at TheJimmyCage.
And you can hit me up simply at The Buddymeister. And also check out my podcast, BUDDYMEISTER SCORES, where I talk about the music of film, television and video games. It's available on iTunes and Stitcher.
And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.